Bye. Kiran bhai. हाँ
Okay, shall we start? Need to wait for anyone?
Yes, Veera, we can
Can
start.
you hear me? Okay, okay.
Hi, Veera. Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so any questions first? So on custom network creations, public and private NAT gateway, internet gateway, EC2, SG group, CIDR. So all good or any questions? Okay, so no questions. Okay. Okay, let me share my screen then. So are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, Veera.
Okay. Okay. So load balancer. Today topic is load balancer. Okay. So in our last class we already discussed. So this is my VPC, for example. Okay, this is VPC. So to work with load balancer, at least we have to create two public subnets for the load balance. Okay. So like this, we have to create a load balancer just for understanding. Just explain here. Okay. So in this load balancer, so the servers, the target servers are in private, right? So for example, my and two private subnets are there. So my and two private subnets are there. One is, okay, let me check my, we have created here, right? Yeah, okay. Origin region, US West 2A to B, okay. So US West 2A. So US West 2B. So US West 2A and US West 2B. So here also US West 2A. So try to understand this concept is very important. The load balancer, to create a load balancer, minimum. So minimum two public subnets are required to connect the targets. Okay. So let's understand now. For example, yesterday we already discussed in the last class. So inside private subnet, so if you create a private server, so inside application, we have already deployed the application inside, and we have configured the NAT gateway, and we have configured the through bash node process we configure, right? For example, these are public subnets. Just understand these are the public subnets. So these are private. So always our application should be there, should be in private only. So here in that case, I have created two private subnets in the target. Okay. So for example, now, same thing, what we discussed in the previous classes. So three group of people here. So one is for my developer. So he is my developer. So he is here or here. So to connect the private server and update the application, we should have at least one public server. So definitely create server in public subnet. Okay, one public server is required to connect private server. So the request will go here and here to here. This is called bash node process. Okay, so this is very clear. Okay, all good, but so how we can give access to public this application since we don't have any public IP, right? So you should have to give this access to users. Okay, let's take users here. Yeah. So once developers or DevOps team deploy the application, so users are ready to access that application. But this application is going to accessible by this ELB. Okay, this ELB. And this ELB public can access. So this ELB is balance the load and send the traffic to target groups. So first we need to understand the purpose of the load balancer. Okay. So LB means load balancer redirects the request from client to redirects the client request target server. Okay, LB redirects the client request to target server. And also it will balance the load. It will balance the load. So what load balancers take care? Redirect the request and balance the load. Okay, I will tell you what is balance. And also it will provide security, protect unauthorized access. Okay, how it will be protected? We can discuss that one also. So first we can understand. Okay, if we have an application inside the any server, to give the access for that application by using load balancer, we can give that access. By using load balancer, we can give that access. So here we need to understand two conditions, guys. So how we can add this instance into load balancer access? So first we have to create a load balancer. So while creating a load balancer, it will ask few steps to create the target edges where I need to redirect the traffic. So in this case, we have a concept is target group concept. So target group concept. Okay, so what is this target group? Simply, so here my instances are running. Okay, so here my two instances are running. So in these two instances, if I want to give only one EC2 access to my load balancer, not two, in this case, what we can do, create a target group and add required instance into the target group and give the access to load balancer. In this case, what we can understand? So first we have to create a target group and add required instance to redirect the request from the clients into through the load balancer, and then configure the load balancer. See here, we have a load balancer, we have a target group. So target group is nothing but your load balancer target group. So the load balancer redirects the request to instances, right? Those instances, if you can add into target group, so load balancer sends the traffic to target group directly. For example, if I add one server into my target group, my load balancer always send the traffic to this server only. If I add these two servers, so load balancer sends the traffic to two servers, not only one server. So here also server is there. For example, here also server is there. So my load balancer sends the traffic my load balancer sends the traffic to two servers. Okay, sends the traffic to two servers. So whatever instances are there in the target group, by default, if you configure with the load balancer always send the traffic to the configure instances. So here in my target group, two instances are there. So load balancer sends the traffic to two instances, not only one instance. If I remove this instance, so load balancer sends the traffic to only one instance. So in this case, if I click the load balancer here, URL, the load balancer is redirect the request and give back to the response. So in this case, definitely we can add same applications, not different applications. If you give different applications, load balancer send the traffic to one time this application, one time this application if you are accessing also. So that is not at all correct. For example, if you are developing an application Flipkart, okay, if I hit Flipkart, always the response you will get from the flipkart.com. Flipkart.com means always you get the response from Flipkart page only, not for Amazon page. In this case, whatever the target servers are there, same application should require. So we need to understand one more thing here. Why? So one server is fine. Why two servers? So as I discussed, to get a high availability, one server is not at all sufficient. Definitely we have to create multiple servers to give the demand for the users. If you create a one server, the one server maybe gives the support to 1,000 requests or 10K requests. But high availability is nothing but always your request should be work. In this case, if I give some request to my server, some application, I need the page. So for example, if I access a Flipkart, so always it is available. So in this case, definitely we can understand the background. The Flipkart application is not running only one server. Flipkart application is running multiple servers. In that case, what we can understand, application is same, but server count is more. Server count is more is nothing but to give the request to the public. Always they need to maintain this application, different servers. The same thing here also. So to work with this application, for example, this is Flipkart. So one Flipkart server is not sufficient. One Flipkart server is not sufficient to give the high availability. High availability is nothing but if the requests are more. After some time, the server is if server is entered into the threshold point, definitely server will give back page not found, server crash, server busy, something. If the requests are more, if the request count is reached to the max threshold point of the server, the server will not give any response since it is busy with all the requests. In that case, what we need to do? We need to create one more server with the same application, not for different application. Okay, I have created one more server and hosted same application. So if you create a one more server and add into this target group, always load balancers and the traffic. So two are there. Again, create one more server and add into the server into the target group. So target group, then load balancer sends a request. And again, remove the server. Load balancer sends only request to one server. Like that, load balancer always redirect the request to required server. So in this case, for example, your application is working on only one server. So you can give directly, if the server is running in the public, you can give directly public access to the server, they can access application. But the problem is we have to host the application inside private server, not public server. If you host the application inside the private server, definitely if you give private IP, no one can access. In this case, we need some reverse proxy to take the request and redirect into the server. So that is load balancer. So here, and a very important thing is, if you want to create a load balancer, first you should create a target group and add required instance into the target group. And now create a load balancer, redirect request to the target groups. So this is the process. So first we should create target group. Target group and add servers into it, into TG. TG means target group. So whatever servers you are going to add into the target group, load balancer, once you configure with the load balancer, always load balancer blindly send the traffic to the target server. So in this case, what you need to do, you need to be added here only same application servers. If you can add the different application, for example, this is instead of Flipkart, it is Amazon. So the request, if I hit the load balancer URL, one time the request will go to Flipkart, one time it will go to the Amazon. That is not really correct. So we have to maintain same application for the targets. So in this case, make sure you can create the instances into the same target group. So that same application load balancer is taking care to send the traffic here like this. Okay, the first part is connect through Bastion host and deploy the application or develop the application, and then give access to this application through users by using load balancer. So here load balancer is a high availability device. How can I say high availability? Guys, you tell me one thing here. Same applications are running into the two servers. In this case, for example, one server may fail, also no problem. One more server is running with the same application. Load balancer first check this request to this server. If the server will not give any response to the load balancer understand, okay, this server is not healthy. So send the traffic to the second server. So this is called failover routing. So load balancer gives the high availability. So in terms of high availability, we have to discuss three factors here. The most important, the one is failover routing. Failover routing, and second is monitoring. So what's going on here? Monitoring is nothing but your ELB is taking care. So failover routing is nothing but your ELB always watch to your instances inside application. If application is down inside the server, immediately these requests are not redirected to faulty servers. If it is redirected to faulty server, it will give back to page not found or server be something. Same load balancer also gives this page to clients. So there and server busy or servers crash or page not found, something it will come. So to avoid that, load balancer always watch the target. If the application gives the response back to load balancer, it is healthy, only load balancer send the traffic to the healthy server, not unhealthy server. Failure routing is nothing but here. So failure routing is nothing but here. So once you create a load balancer always taking care to send a traffic to healthy servers only, not unhealthy servers. So that is very clear.
Veera,
Yeah.
have a doubt.
Okay.
You have taken two availability zones, right? Like
Yes. Yes.
1A and 1B, but
Mhm.
you didn't create any network, right? Like VPC. How they both are communicating?
Just wait. What is your doubt here?
Yeah, you have taken two private subnets and two public subnets in
So
different
all are in
availability
same
zones.
VPC only. All are same VPC only. So inside VPC only subnets we can create, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this availability zone is same. Inside this availability zone, two subnets I'm creating. One is private, one is public. Next, other availability zone, one is public, one is private. I will show you in the practical, you will get a better clarity. So why we are creating two subnets in two different availability zones? So for example, this concept is high availability across agent. One agent fails, also you will get a request, you will get a response. The reason, two subnets I have created different agents, so I can create subnet in same availability zone also. US West 2A, inside I can create same two servers, private servers, but instead of creating two servers in one availability zone, you can create one server in one availability zone, one server in one availability zone. So that is, I can say, high availability across region, across agent. Okay. So for example, so you want to create two servers for same application. One server is not at all sufficient. I need one more server. In this case, if you want to create two servers, the choice you do while creating a server, you have to select the subnet and availability zones. While choosing time, instead of giving two subnets in one availability zone, you can give one in one availability zone, one in one availability zone. In that case, we can say this is high availability across availability zone. For example, in US West 2A, you can create multiple servers, no problem. You can create 10 servers also, sorry, 10 servers also inside US West 2A. I mean, US West 2A is availability zone. Inside, you can create one subnet and 10 servers or 10 subnets, each subnet one server. Depends on your requirement. But here we can see one availability zone, all servers are there. If one availability zone, all servers are there, for example, that availability zone, something issue is there, all servers will be down. So instead of that, you can create all availability zones, one private subnets. So if you want to create three servers, if you have a three availability zones, one server in one availability zone, you can create in the future. If you want to create only one server, you can take any availability zone. There is no problem. But high availability purpose, we have to create multiple servers. Multiple servers creating in one availability zone, you can create few servers in one availability zone, few servers in one availability zone. In this case, I can say high availability across agent. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. We understood.
Okay. So now, yeah, the point what we need to understand from the load balancer, while creating a load balancer, we should create a first target group. In the target group, we should add the required instances. So those instances only load balancer is sending the traffic. Okay, that is clear. Target group is okay. We are clear. But the condition is to creating of a load balancer, we should select at least two public subnets. Why public subnets? Guys, you need to understand why public server here. This public server is help to redirect request to public to private. So this is private server, this is public server. So my developer is connected to public server, and from here to here, I'm going to ping, I'm going to connect through SSH client to connect a private server. What we can see here, so this is called bastion host. So that is not possible directly to connect here. The reason you are on the outside of the network, private IP is not allowed. So in that case, I should create at least one EC2 instance in the public subnets. In the public subnet is there means, so here internet gateway is there, here are, you can understand here are here, whatever. So in the last architecture, if you can see, if it is public means the routings and all there, internet gateway routings and all there. So in this case, I can easily hit my request from external to public server. If you are here means here to here, you can connect by using SSH client. Same thing what we can understand here. So definitely in this case, to connect a developer, at least one public server is required. In that case, definitely we should create one public subnet. Okay, that is cool. But to give the access to the servers, to the users to access this application, so definitely load balancer is required. Multiple servers are there means multiple IPs are there. We cannot give the access to the public. So since there is no public IP, by using load balancer, we can redirect the request to the private server. In this case, what we can understand, guys, the important point is to create a load balancer, at least 2 public subnets are required. The reason, if it is a not public subnets, let's say suppose this load balancer, if you can create a private servers like this. In this case, the users will not access private server inside load balancer. So to access users, definitely the load balancer should be there in the public only. So in that case only, it will expose to public. This load balancer exposed to public. If the load balancer is there in the private server means same thing. No one can access the private servers. In this case, load balancer not take the request from the external. If the load balancer is work like a proxy means here, load balancer should be there in the public so that it will collect the request from the external. So once load balancer takes the request, so once load balancers take the request from the external, it should redirect it into target server. Which server? May it can send any server in the target end, 1 or 2 or 3. Okay, 1 or 2 or 3. So we need to understand one more point here. Load balancer follows the round robin method. The round robin method is nothing but, so first, whenever request will come from the users, whenever request will come from the user, so immediately load balancer take the request. Load balancers take the request and it is redirecting into first server and second server and first server and second server, round robin method. If first fail, it sends second. Again, it will ping to first. Still healthy or unhealthy. Still unhealthy means again send to second. And again first ping to first. If it is healthy means then send to here. And next second. Like this is round robin method. It will follow like that only. So every time load balancer pings the server whenever request will come, they get the response from the server, only the load balancer redirect the request to the healthy server, like that. So here, the high availability concepts, load balancers provides the high availability. Yeah. How can I say it provides HA? So the reason, whenever you create a multiple servers, load balancer redirect the request to multiple servers means if one server may fail, still it is redirected to the second server. You will get the response from healthy server.
Veera, I have one question.
Yeah.
Here, load balancer is connecting to the private servers, right? Is there any limit for the load balancer? Like, it can only connect to 10 servers or 20 servers like that,
No,
or
no,
it can connect to any?
it's no limit.
Okay.
So there is no limit. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So failover routing and monitoring. These two jobs, ELB is taking care. Your load balancer is taking care. Okay, failover routing means, as we discussed, let's suppose this server may fail. Even though no issue, one more server is working fine with the same application, it will give the response back to the user. That is taken care by load balancer. So even one server also fail, no issue. Load balancer is taking care to send the traffic to healthy server. That is called failure routing. Monitoring is nothing but, so load balancer always monitor the application. Then only load balancer understand, okay, it is healthy or unhealthy. Okay. So these two things are very important to achieve high availability. So those can, these two will get the high availability. So these two can provide load balancer. So by using load balancer, we will get high availability. High availability is nothing but if one server is failed, no issue. The next server is, if one more server is there in the target group, load balancer sends the traffic to the target group. So here, and also load balancer reader balance the load also. If it is a 30% load is there, for example, and 80% load is here. So first request, it will ping to the as per round robin method and verify it. Okay, this is 30% and this is 80%, and send the traffic to here only to balance the load till 80%. Like that also it will work. Okay, so and security, in terms of security, guys, we have to understand one thing. How I can quote it here? Yes, load balancer provides the security. The reason is, so these end users don't know even the IP of the servers. The reason, they have connected through ELB URL only. So whenever you can configure ELB, you will get one URL. That URL you can give directly to the Flipkart users, or you can redirecting to any DNS name like flipkart.com. You can give that name. So they will hit, if they can hit, the request will go to ELB URL. I mean, the background of the servers, these servers, these guys are unable to see. The users are unable to see these servers. The reason, they are going to hit only ELB URL. In this case, they don't know even getting the response from which server. It is backend only. So they will hit the ELB URL, that they're getting the response from the ELB URL only. But the background, the request will come to one server only. They don't know that which server my request is going to even. So in this case, hacking is not possible. So instead of giving directly server IP, if you give ELB URL, hackings are not possible. Like that, ELB will protect. And finally, ELB is not a server, it is a service, redirecting service. If it is a server means, again, server means hackers also hack this and enter into the private. So this is not a server, it is a service. So 2 points we need to understand. To connect the server to deploy the application, we need one public server. To access the application, the users to access the application, we need a load balancer. To configure the load balancer, we need at least 2 public subnets. In this case, any project, if you can take any project, mandatory public subnets are required. And mandatory one public server is required. These are for help like a proxies. Public server is help to connect the private server in the batch node process. 2 public subnets are required to redirect request to the private server. Okay. And the last point, while creating a load balancer in your end, in your region, if you have a 3 availability zones. So to create a load balancer, minimum 2 public subnets are required. For example, if you create a US West 2A, US West 2B, yes, load balancer is configured these 2 agents only. So load balancer is send traffic to only these 2 agent servers only inside of private. In this case, in URN, US West 2C is there, for example, this is US West 2C. But while creating load balancer time, you have given only this 2 only, US 2A, US 2B. In this case, the required server, in this server, there in the target group also, it will not send the traffic. The reason, load balancer is not selected that agent while creating time. Unselected agents, load balancer will not send the traffic. You should select the agent to send the traffic inside subnets or inside server only. But the condition is at least 2 agents are required. Those should be public to give access to users. So whenever select the 2A for the creation of load balancer, the background one node will be created the respect to 2A. Whenever you can select the 2B, the background one node will be created in 2B. These nodes will help to redirecting the request to 2A public to 2A private, 2B public to 2B private, like that. These nodes are virtual nodes. We are unable to see the background AWS providers are taking care. Okay, so if you have any questions now, you can ask. After that, I will start the practical. You can ask this if you have a question.
Veera, if we create two public subnets in one agent, then also we can create load balancer, right?
No. I will tell you why. The condition is at least two public subnets are required. Each subnet should be there in different agent. The reason is high availability process only. If load balancer is configured only 2A, if 2A may fail, load balancer also fail, inside servers also fail. So this is not recommended way. Even two servers if you are creating, the two servers should be there, different agents only. In this case, the public servers, the public subnets also different agents only. Clear?
Yeah.
Any questions from anyone?
No questions, sir. Good.
No,
This is very important concept anyway. Okay, so I will do one thing now. So by the way, my private server already application, I think I have already deployed to bash node in the last class. So what I will do now, to do the configuration of ELB, first I should create a target group. In this case, I'm going to create a target group. I'm fixing the target for my load balancer. So create a target group. First step is, okay, let me log in. Timeout is there. Okay, so whenever you can select the target group, create a target group, you should select instances as a target. Okay, and come down here, you can give here TG1 name, you can give anything. So your load balancer works HTTP protocol for internal request, and you have to select which VPC my target group is there. My custom VPC I have created. So the health checks protocol is HTTP, and a / inside index.html only my application is there. So in this case, you can give index.html like that, or you can give directly / also, no problem. I mean, my target group will check the my target group will check the status of my application if it is healthy or not by using HTTP protocol. HTTP protocol is internal access, internal protocol. If it is HTTPS, we are using for external protocol secure connections. So this VPC, you have to select where your subnet is there, where your instance is there. If you select I have created in the last class my custom VPC, my instance is also running in this VPC. I have selected this one. So health checks, you should give HTTP protocol internal and which application path. So my target group always check the application status and give healthy or unhealthy. In this case, inside via index.html we have created, right? So I have given that path of my application. Next, so this is very important. So target group is a region specific. So whenever you can select a VPC, inside all servers we can see in the available instances. Here we have to pick the required server only, so that load balancer can send the traffic only selected server only. If I select means in my load balancer, this server is going to the target group means if I configure the load balancer of this target group, always sends the load balancer traffic to this server only. Okay, and you have to check include as pending below. So I can see this is my server. I'm going to register now. Create a target group. So I have created a target group by adding the one server. So if you can see the status of the target group, healthy, unhealthy, unused. So this target group, I haven't configured any load balancer so that this is unused. Whenever I can configure the load balancer with this target group, it will serve the request. So you just understand, if it is a train, engine is load balancer, the background compartments are the target groups. Whenever you can connect the engine only, the train will move. Whenever you can connect the target group to load balancer only, serve the request. Until and that this is unused. Okay. So let's go to my target group is ready. So let's configure to my load balancer. So this is little important concept, load balancer creation. So let me show you. I'm going to create application load balancer. I will tell you what is the difference in application load balancer and network load balancer. First, you can take the ALB here, the load balancer name, and see here, internet facing. If it is internet facing only, public can connect this ALB. Otherwise, they will unable to access ALB means, or they are unable to access the application. An internet facing load balancer router request from the clients over the internet to targets. So load balancer is exposing to public, requires a public sub. Anyway. So which network load balancer has to create? My VPC only. And here if you can see, the problem is here. Select at least 2 availability zones, 1 subnet per zone. So the load balancer routes the traffic to targets in this availability zones only. So guys, if I click US West 2C, so in this US West 2C, I have selected the subnets. So the load balancer always should be there in public subnets, but I have created total 2 subnets for the 2 servers. One subnet is subnet 1, second subnet is subnet 2. In these 2 subnets, one is public, one is private. Subnet 2 is a private. If I select the subnet 2 is private, see, the selected subnet does not have a route to internet gateway. This means that your load balancer will not receive internet traffic. In this case, no one can connect if I select the private subnet here. You can proceed with this selection. However, for internet traffic to reach your load balancer, you must update subnets route table and the VPC concept. So what they're saying here, if you select the, so subnet 2 is private, my end is. So if you select the private subnet here, this load balancer will not take a receive the traffic from internet since it is a private subnet. So definitely you should create a public subnet. So I have created 2 subnets for my custom VPC. One is public and one is private. So if I go for the next process, you can easily understand now. So here my target is target group 1. And my security group is, so it will take the default security group already. One security group we have created, right, while creating custom network. So you can give the same security group. Since load balancer receives the traffic from external means, this security group should be enabled HTTP first protocol. It will take the response request from the internet. So this security group should be their HTTP protocol. Okay. And then if you can see, if I go for create load balancer, I will get an error. See, at least 2 subnet must be specified. So even load balancer creation, the background developers, the AWS providers are saying that if you select a 1 subnet in a 1 availability zone, this ELB will not receive the traffic from if this zone may down. So in this high availability process also, they are saying as select at least 2 availability zones, 1 subnet per zone. The load balancer route the traffic to targets in this availability zone. So my end, 1 public subnet is there. So I have to create 1 more public subnet now in my custom network. So let's go here. So yeah, see subnet 1, subnet 2. Let me give here the naming now for better understanding. Subnet 1 is public subnet and subnet 2 is private subnet. Okay. So, and definitely both are in different availability zone. My US West 2C is a public subnet is there. I should create 1 more subnet in different agent. Then only ALB is allowed to connect the creation. So select the VPC here, my custom VPC, and create 1 more subnet here. Subnet 3 public, 2 is private, right? This is very important now. 2C already there, right? If you select 2C again, 2 public subnets there on the same available. same availability zone. So ALB is not possible. So create ALB. Definitely the subnets should be there in different ages, and 2 subnets are required and should be public subnets only. So 2 is already there, right? I'm selecting 2B now. And here 10.0.0 one series are done, right? 2.0 by 24. I'm taking this series. Okay, 2 already there now. Then I'm taking 3 series. Create a subnet. So now my end, total 2 public subnets, 1 private subnet is there. So 2 public subnets is required for creation of your load balance. Okay, but this subnet is not at all public subnet, just I have created only. To make it public subnet, I should just go to route table. So my custom public route table. Okay. Yeah, this is public route table. Okay, so I should select this public route table, and internet gateway routing already there, but subnet association I have given only one subnet, that is subnet 1 public. Now I will give subnet 3 also. These 2 will get internet now. So these 2 are now public subnets. I have selected in subnet association. See, I can see subnet 1 and 2, 3 is the public now. Since getting internet from the routes and subnet association I have added. Now let's go to ELB now. Yeah. So you can refresh here. So select my VPC. So this time I'm able to see 2 availability zones, 2B and 2C. Both subnets are public. If you give here private, again problem. The selected subnet does not have a route to internet, so no one can access from external. But definitely no, everyone should access to load balancer URL only to redirect the request to the private server. So the minimum condition we have achieved, and we need to understand one more thing. The created server, the condition is the created server definitely should be created in this availability zones subnets only. For suppose, if you want to create one more server in 2A availability zone, since my load balancer is not selected 2A availability zone, so the server is there in the 2A availability zone also, ELBs will not send the traffic. See the condition. The load balancer routes the traffic to targets in this availability zones only, even though instance if we selected the target group. Okay. Yeah. Let's create load balancer now. Okay, my load balancer is creating process, provisioning. And if you can go to the target groups now, it will update. Instead of unused, maybe healthy or unhealthy. So refresh here. Still it is creating, right? It will take, yeah, initializing process. Since load balancer is connected right to this target group, so it is the initializing process. So total target is only 1 instance. I have selected only 1 instance. It will take some time. Again refresh. Initializing process. Whenever load balancer creation done, we can see that still provisioning state. So I will share these ALB conditions, so you will get a better clarity. Does ELB redirect traffic to unselected edges? So here the example steps, example. For example, ALB selected US East 1A, US East 1B. Unselected is US East 1C. Instance A is in US East 1B. Instance B is in US East 1B is in US East 1B. Instance C in US East 1C. Added to the target group, but in unselected agent. The meaning is 3 instances are running. I have added in target group, but in creation of ELB, I have unselected agent for 1C. In this case, ELB is unable to send the traffic to 1C server, even it is in the target group. The reason, while creating ELB, you have unselected agent. So in my case also, I have selected only 2 agents, B and C. I don't have any public subnet. So that A related private subnet, it will not send the traffic simply. Why it is taking much time? Let's click on target group. So these topics are very important to understand Kubernetes anyway. Kubernetes, we can easily understand if you know this process. Okay, one is healthy, if you can see. So I think my ELB is also created. So load
You
balance.
didn't add, Veera, you didn't add another private subnet in your target group.
Target group is not comes under subnets. It is region level. So in the region level, you can add required servers only, not subnets. If it is a different subnet or any subnet, see for example, this is US West 2C, right? This server is running. If I create 2 servers in different agents, 2A, 2B also, I can select here. 2A, 2B servers also I can select here. But 2A, 2B, 2C, 3 servers are running. But while creating a load balancer, 2A, 2B, 2C servers are running in different subnets, right? Here you should give 2A, 2B, 2C subnets. I mean availability zones. If you select 2A, 2B, 2C availability zones only, your ELB sends a traffic to 2A, 2B, 2C. For example, if I uncheck this 2C now, if I uncheck this 2C, but the server is already there in the target group, even though load balancer is not sent the traffic. This is very important along with the target. So my end, I'm giving only one instance. One private server is there. Let's take this DNS name now, ELB URL. See, I'm getting response. So simple, I can give this URL to clients, users. So I need to, again, by using DNS name, DNS service, I can create a record for this URL, one more domain name like clipcode.com and something I can give simply. So they don't know the background, which server is running, the IP of the server also. So this is very secure architecture. Till here clear, guys? I will show you some troubleshoots now, so you will get a better clarity. Till here, if you are clear, means just let me know.
Yeah.
Clear, right?
Yeah, Veera, I'm clear.
Excuse me. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need some clarity on this. Private servers. You have created like 2 public servers and 1 private server, right? Is it necessary? We need to create like 2 private servers, or only 1 private server would be enough?
Yeah. Good question. Anyway, see, you need to understand this architecture first. My end only one private server is there. If your clients, the request is, for example, 1,000 people are accessing this application. So one server is sufficient. For example, this application is more popular now. So one server is not sufficient. 1,000 is to like this, 1 million, 100 billion can increase the user's request. If the traffic is more from the users, definitely this resource configuration of the servers, the RAM and CPU will not support to give the access request to the users. In this case, definitely I need one more server. I need one more server. I need one more server. So you need to increase the servers count to give the response to multiple requests. In this case, I should create multiple servers. This is condition number 1 to give high availability. The creation server, where I can create the servers, all servers in same agent or different agents. Yes, instead of creating same agent, you can create multiple agents, but in same VPC only. The reason, if you create a multiple agents means inside we can create a multiple subnets. 2A inside, 2 subnets are there. 2B inside, 2 subnets are there. But while creating instance, you should select 2A. We have a 2 subnet set. You can select any one subnet since region availability zone specific. And inside 2B, you can pick any one subnet to create instance. Means 2 servers are instead of creating in one agent, you can create different agents to get a high availability. These are private servers. Coming to the public server. This public server you can create anywhere, no problem. 2A, 2B, 2C, anywhere. This is bash node process. Bash node process inside in the same VPC, it will work to connect by using SSH client. So this purpose is to only to connect the private server from external to internal by using EC2 instance. So this purpose we need one public subnet. Then only this server public server we can create. Okay. And next process is once application deployment done, we have to give access to the users. In this case, to give the access, we need a load balancer. The load balancer should be created in public subnets only. So minimum 2 required, maximum your wish. Maximum, minimum. What is the difference here? Minimum is nothing but 2 to give the high availability across availability zone. If the 2 servers are running in the same availability zones, no problem. Here we can send the traffic. But the targets the targets are in different agents instead of 2A, 2C, 2D. So this load balancer will not send the traffic. So to send the traffic, ELB and your target server should be there in the same agents. This is condition is minimum. You can create multiple public subnets for each availability zone 1 to give the high availability for load balancer. The respect to availability zones, instance should be run and give the access to load balance. So I will show you here. The architecture, try to understand now here. So let's suppose this is 2A availability zone, 2B 2A availability zone, 2C availability zone. Okay, so inside this availability zone, URL is multiple subnets are there. Not only one subnet, you can create multiple subnets, no problem. But this is 2A availability zone. 2A. This is 2B. So this is 2C. And 2B inside also, 2 subnets are there. And the 2C inside of also. And 2C also 2 subnets are there. So these are, for example, just assume private subnets in 2A, 2B, 2C. And to give this access to public for these 3 servers, for example, in this subnet you have created one server, here one server, here one server. Totally these are private subnets. Private subnet 1, private subnet 2. So in my end, 2 private subnets are there. You can create 1 or 2, no problem, doesn't matter. So inside private subnets, one server is running in the 2A, and here 2B, and here 2C. Total 6 subnets are there, all private subnets. But to give these servers access, the respect to availability zones, we should create a public subnets. The reason to give access to public, for example, Here is the user now. If user want to access 2C instance, your ELB is capable to send a traffic to 2C. In this case, public subnet B. So 2A, 2B only have created a public subnets. Let's understand. These are public subnets 2A, public subnet 2B. So two public subnets are there. So if you, while creating a load balancer, if you select these two public subnets only, so ELB can send traffic the respect to 2A availability zone any subnet, 2B availability zone any subnet, but not 2C availability zone. The reason, unselected agent. If you are not selected this 2C, load balancer will not send the traffic. But client want to access 2C, you should select here 2C availability zone also. In this case, you should create one more public subnets in the 2C. Whenever you can create a public subnet, the load balancer nodes will create in 2C also. When node will create, this node will help to connect this 2C server. Like this. So then load balancer send the traffic to this. Okay. And I will show you this better clarity now. Let's go here. So I'm able to access my application, right? My application is there here. My application running in which server? Let's go, guys. We'll verify now. Practically, I will prove now. Okay. See my private server only. Public for we are using bash node process server. This is jump server to connect the server deploy. So my end application running only single server, that is private server. A private server is running in 2C application. Okay. So now my load balancer, I have unselect now. Let's go here, actions, edit subnets. So 2C is there, right? If I uncheck the 2C, save the changes, it will say at least 2 subnets are required. So what I will do, I will create one more public subnet in 2A. I will check now my instance is running but 2C. So I will give 2 subnets, public subnets for my load balancer. I'm trying to access, will it able to access or not, we can try now. Okay. So in this case, 2B, 2C subnets only there in that 2B, 2C availability zones. I have a 2 public subnets, one in 2B, one in 2C. So let's go and create one more subnet in 2A. I will show you now the difference. You will get better clarity. So let's go to subnets. I'm going to create one more subnet here. Let me check. One is running in, sorry, yeah, subnet 3 public running in 2B, subnet 1 public running in 2C. Let me create one more subnet in 2A. My custom VPC, my subnet for public. So now I'm going to create a 2A wantedly C 10.0.4.0 by 24. So created a, but this is not, this is just subnet only. How to make it public? Go to route table, public route table, and go to subnet association. Just select this one also, since it is a public. Save association. Now go to load balancer. Now try to give unselected agent. Let's go to here, EC2 instances. The load balancer. So this is my load balancer. Go to actions now, edit subnets. So if you can see, guys, here now why I have created 2A subnet to create load balancer only, to give the access for load balancer and uncheck the 2C. If I uncheck the 2C, at least 2 required, right? That's what I created one more public subnet. But my instance is running 2C only. Save changes, we'll see what will happen now. But the tools instance is there in target group also. See, my target group also there in the tools instance. See, tools instance. We can see now. See, immediately unused now. Till now healthy, right? Immediately unused now. Unused means your load balancer is not selected 2C availability zone. Since 2C availability zone instance you have selected in target group, even though if you just refresh, see, 503 temporarily unavailable. The reason your load balancer is unselected the specific agent. So let's go to load balancer. This is target group. This is my load balancer and actions, edit subnet. Now again, I will give 2C. Now you can give 2A, 2B, 2C, no problem, doesn't matter. At this time, instance is there in 2C. For example, if you want to create 2 more instances, one instance you can create in 2B, one instance you can create in 2C, 2A. In this case, 3 instances, 3 private subnets to connect the load balancer, 3 public subnets. So very high availability zone. Even 2 also fail, no problem. One more is there. Save changes. Now go to target group. Now initial process will come. Refresh. See healthy immediately. Now you can refresh. Getting response from 2C. So load balancer able to send 2A, 2B also. So load balancer able to send 2A private subnet, 2B private subnet also, 2A availability in private subnet, 2B availability in private subnet also. But at this time instances are not there. You can increase the servers by using 2A, 2B in the 2A, 2B. So that load balancer will send out traffic. Clear now? Any questions? You can ask, guys. Do not hesitate. Any questions? No
Veera,
problem.
while creating target group, you have specified the path, right? Index.html.
Yeah.
If the user want to access, like if I create 2 different files like index.html, index1 and index2, if I want to access 2 different files, do I need to create 2 target files by specifying like different path name?
Yeah. So application load balancer. We are creating application load balancer. Application load balancer gives support to different target path-based routing. In tomorrow class, I will show you. So we have a 2 type of load balancer. One is application, one is network load balancer. Application load balancer gives support to path-based routing. When I say path-based routing, so as you said here in the targets, so if you go for the targets, actions, let me check. This target group I can use for index.html, I can use for path 1. One more index.html is a different path 2. You should create one more target group for the path 2. So path 1 is for this, path 2 is for next application. In this case, here you have to hit here path 1. The request will go to path 1. If you give path 2, the request will go to path 2. I will show you tomorrow class anyway. Already time is over here.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So guys, any questions? This is very important session anyway. Very confusing session also. The load balance targets and something.
Veera, I have a doubt actually. For accessing that, like, how did you open that URL? I missed that part.
Where?
Yeah, that one. From where did you copy that one?
Okay, in ALB only. If you can go ALB. So once you create ALB, so there is a DNS name. Just copy this one.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And guys, very important thing we need to understand. One server is not sufficient. Multiple servers are required. Yes, definitely. This is virtualization concept, right? Even we should create 100 servers, 1,000 servers also, not only 1, 2, 3 servers. In this case, 1,000 servers, if you can create, guys, those 1,000 servers, one load balancer is sufficient to send a traffic. No problem for that. But who will create 1,000 servers? Maybe the traffic is less now. You are creating a 2 servers. Immediately traffic is high. The fraction of seconds, the traffic is increased to billions requests. Immediately you have to create a servers. Who will create? That is very tough job to create servers immediately. So we are taking help here, auto scaling group. The concept is auto scaling group here. The auto scaling group creates the servers immediately as per the requirement in the same target. So this auto scaling group creates servers in same target group. For example, auto scaling group creates servers in different target. The load balancer is not pointing to the target, so you will not get response availability. So auto scaling is a service to create a servers immediately whenever the required demand is reached. But this auto scaling group create a servers in same target group. So you will get a better clarity tomorrow class. Just understand here ASD group will come. Clear? Any questions, guys?
Vira, one question.
Yeah.
Can you open the private, the paint? You open this one, yeah. Here in the availability zone west 2A, you have created one public and one private, right? Suppose if we have in the same zone, we have like some 10 private servers and one public server. Will that be enough? Like only one public server will be enough to connect to all private servers, or we need to create multiple public servers to connect to the multiple private?
No. This is availability zone specific. One is fine. Not required.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
So if you can see here, so I will send this notes. We follow this, we'll get a better clarity. If an agent is not selected, there is no load balancer node. Okay, I will share to you. Okay, any questions? Others, please. If you are having any questions, you can ask. So do not hesitate if you are facing any challenges. So if you are facing any challenges, you can ask tomorrow also to repeat the same concept. I don't have any problem to repeat this session. So please, if you are facing any issues, you can. Any questions?
No, I'm good.
What about others? Vaishnavi, Harshvardhan, Dharma, Ravi,
Clear.
and are clear, guys?
Yes, Vira.
Okay. Okay, then we can wind up this call, and I will share this paint and the notes also, so better clarity. We just practice it. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. We'll meet you by tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.